Hello and welcome back to another Space Engineers mod showcase video. In today's video, we're looking at another set of decorative blocks for you to use in your world and make a home more homier. Yes, we're looking at the Modern Beds V2, which are these lovely things right here. Do excuse the black hole in the background. As of this point, I'm not too sure how to remove it from this world, so it's just going to have to sit there. But yes, as for the mod, we get a bunch of large block beds and some small block beds, and some beds can even be pumped oxygen so you don't suffocate without your helmet while in space, which is jolly good stuff. So what we're going to do is have a look at this one over here first and make our way to the right. So over here we've got ourselves a double framed bed, which is just a large bed for one person to sleep on, and this is what it looks like. We get 3 pillows because we're a greedy person, and we've got a bloody good model to go along with it. Now this is one of the beds which can be doubled onto a small block grid. It looks pretty much the same. If I was to grab my character and move across, get into it, that is what we look like. We just lay in the dead center and we look bloody uncomfortable. Moving across to the single framed bed, which is basically the same as that one but is much smaller. It does the same thing with being able to be placed on a small block grid, but we only have 1 pillow this time. Yes, the disappointment is real. So just coming across and going to that, there we go. We just lay on the bed. That is that. Now moving across onto the next one, which is going to be the start of the beds which can have oxygen pumped into them, so you don't have to wear your helmet while in space. In fact, you can make a space camp where people can sleep outside in space, kind of like what I've done here. Yes, we have the double canopy bed, which is a similar setup to the first bed over there. We've got 3 pillows on there, except we've got a little roof that comes all the way over the top, grabbing the character and moving them across. We just lay in the dead center once again, and if I was to bring up the HUD and turn my helmet off, you'll be able to see on the bottom of the screen the oxygen is high because the O2H2 generator has been connected up around the back here into a lovely little connection point. Moving across onto this one, this is a double bed, and this one has a slightly unique feature because we get these things called the bunk bed top left access and the bunk bed top right access, which is how we're going to get 2 people to fit onto this block. Yes, it's a bunk bed where if we go up to it, we can't do anything on the top bunk, but we can come down and lay on it, just for a quick view like so. We just lay in the dead center once again. We've got some ladders on the side to make sure we can climb up to the second bunk. We've got a control panel which does work on the side, and like the bed before us, we've got a access point to allow oxygen to go into it. Come up above, not too much going on there. So when it comes to the top left and top right access for the bunk bed, if I place a new one over here, what's going to happen with this is we're going to allow a second person to sleep on this. But the catch is, we take over the block in front of it. So you can see here, the green block is sitting in front of the bunk bed, yet I'm placing something on that block behind it. This allows us to go up top, so if I bring the camera over, there we go. We can now sleep on the top bunk, and someone else can sleep on the bottom, but we have to make sure this block in front of us is completely clear, or we're not going to be able to place it. The top right is basically the same. We can simply remove that one, and then place it there, and we just lay it on the opposite side. Come like that. There we go. So it's a very neat little thing if you wanted to keep your base nice and neat. Now moving across here, we then have the bunk bed decorative top. So this is basically like that one over there, except the top bunk cannot be used at all. Even if you try and place the access on it, it's not going to work because that's simply a decorative top. But we can still lay on the bottom one, and everything else about it is, well, basically the same. We can have the access on the back there, and all the way around us we've got the ladders and the access points, and there we go. Moving across to the small block beds, yes, the ones which cannot be placed on a large block grid, we have the pressurized covered small bed, which is this lovely thing right here. A bit claustrophobic when you lay inside it, but it's quite neat to have one for a small block ship if you were, say, going out on a very long voyage. We get a little pillow in there and we get a small backlight. Looking around here, it's going to be quite a tight area. But if we move across, we do have access points on the back to allow us to pump oxygen into it. So if I was to get this character out of that bed and move across to this one, and then bring up the HUD, you'll see we have O2 high, which means we're not going to suffocate anytime soon. So there we go, we just lay inside it, and it's a very small area. And then coming across to the final bed of this pack, we didn't have the pressurized small bed, which is basically like that one, except we don't have the roof covering it up. We still have the access points on the back, and we still got a bit of fancy decoration on the side for grabbing the character and moving them across. There we go, we still have oxygen high, so we're not going to suffocate anytime soon. And it's just a neat little bed. But that is it for these beds. They all look bloody fantastic, and it's absolutely great that you can have a bunk bed with 2 people in it and have oxygen pumped into them so you know you're not going to suffocate in the event you have a hull breach. But what about their costs? Well, these beds are not that expensive. They simply require some construction components, interior plates, the usual, so it's not completely out of reach if you want to use these straight off the bat. So the double bed uses 10 canvases, 8 small steel tubes, 25 construction components, and 25 interior plates. If we switch across to the small one, it costs the exact same. As for the single bed, we then use 6 canvases, 5 small steel tubes, 15 construction components, and 18 interior plates, with the small block using the exact same. As for the double canopy bed, we use 10 canvases, 8 small steel tubes, 20 construction components, and 40 interior plates. Again, small block uses the same. For the bunk bed, we use 10 canvas, 15 small steel tubes, 30 construction components, and 40 interior plates. For the decorative top, it's the exact same. And then we have the access left and the access right, which are 10 canvas, 5 construction components, and 10 more steel plates. For the pressurized small bed, it's 6 canvas, 8 small steel tubes, 15 construction components, and 25 interior plates. And the exact same for the small pressurized bed without the cover. So there we go, they are all pretty dirt cheap to build, and yes, they are bloody fantastic. I think my favourite one out of all of these would have to be this one at the start there, so you can then make a master bedroom in your base and be all fancy about it. But anyway, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and there'll be a link to this DLC pack in the description below, as well as a link to the black hole in the background in case you want to destroy everything in your world. Yes, thank you all for watching, and I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.